Hey, yo, how we doing, everyone? Down V, I see you on YouTube. Don't think just because I didn't send a message, I don't see you. Hello. Hello. How we all doing today? Oh, right in the blast of the contrast. There we go. Hello. How are we all doing today? Anonymous, thank you so much for those gift subs. That's absolutely amazing, and that puts us over the top of our subscription goal that we had. We had 20 new subs as the goal, and you just slammed that straight on through. Thank you. Appreciate that. Down V doing great. Good. I'm glad to hear it. It's been a bit of a day. You may notice I am doing a sit-down stream today. What a cool hat you got. Thank you so much. We got a sit-down stream today because I've got a child right here who's feeling very much so the need to be held, and I'm feeling very much so the need to be able to have two hands today. So we're doing a sitting stream, and unfortunately that is just going to have to stay the way it is for a little while. But I am so excited to be here with all of you today. Thank you for coming and joining us. What a wonderful day it is. We got the Pirate Software Jam results in, which is very exciting. In a lot of ways. We can maybe talk about that in a little bit. Who won? We'll talk about that. We'll I think someone put the whole list on our Discord and the Game Jam channel if you're curious. But yeah, we'll jump into that in a little bit. I want to make sure that we give time to Jack, who spent their hard-earned channel points for a game critique, and then worked in a mad rush to get in a state where I could play it yesterday, and then I didn't play it because I didn't realize that that's what was being said. So we're gonna do that to start off with, and then we'll dive into all the fun Pirate Software stuff. Oh, boy, is there a lot to talk about. Okay, right on. Let's dive in. So this is Jack's game. Ask for a critique. Jack, would you mind letting us know what stage is the game at and what sort of feedback are you looking for in this critique? That will help me and chat know, what are the sort of things that are worth talking about or not. Because, and you may already know this, but this is for everyone in the chat. When you want a critique, it's really good to describe at what state you're in and what sort of feedback you want. Because if you are in wireframes, you're in low fidelity, you haven't polished anything, then you really don't want to get any feedback on that. Because you already know it's not polished, right? The mad rush getting you able to play was 10 minutes adding mouse input. 3 hours making it slightly playable. Oh, gosh. Oh, I'm so sorry. We're here, though. We're here. I'm thrilled to dive in here. Like a very early prototype. Okay. Aubrey, gonna migrate to Twitch and watch there. Be right back. No problem at all, Aubrey. See you on over here. Okay, so early prototype. Anything in particular you're hoping to get feedback on? Are you wanting to talk about how it feels? Or systems, mechanics? Mostly if the game mechanics seem playable at all, because a lot of the physics just make it quite annoying. Okay, so we're not even looking at design, really. We're looking at can a player actually navigate through it and interact with the mechanics? General concept. Okay, great. Sounds good. Thank you so much for clarifying there, Jack. Down V, you go ahead and stay on YouTube. You stay where you want to stay. You go wherever you feel best. My mom would always say, everyone gets to eat what they want to eat. And, the same thing holds true for streaming and internet content digestion. There's Aubrey on Twitch. Hello. All right. Thank you for the follow, Aubrey. All right, let's dive in. I'm going to actually turn off the music. Okay. I'm sure there probably won't be music, but I think that's important to go in with the feeling. Okay, so I'm assuming I am this guy because, but I don't seem to have any control over where I'm going. Yeah. I don't seem to have control over where my attached cube goes. Space to jump and shoot. Aim towards the ground you are on and press the jump button to jump. While flying, aim and press the shoot button to throw your projectile. Press space when pointing to the ground. Oh! Oh! Okay. Oh, and the purple is a projectile. So, okay. And I can still jump, and the projectile just goes. Okay. So we've got travel time, so we kind of need to lead the target a little. Woo! Woo! I think I lost a life. First warning, some objects get stuck in the wall. There's no secondary room that should exist, and the bottom cube is, in fact, a triangle. Okay. Let's refresh here, because I think we broke the game a little. So is this white thing, is this a go to next room trigger that just doesn't have a next room really built for it yet, I'm assuming? So I'll tell you what this reminds me of. With the kind of like jumping and then the throwing. Whoa. So first off, the throwing feels a little okay. So the squares are sources of gravity. That's a little trippy. So squares and walls. That's a little trippy. I don't think it's impossible, especially if like they had a graphical representation that would communicate that. I think that would be a little more intelligible. The square that you hit was going to be a teleporter that takes you to a new room, but I can make a next room. That was my current bottleneck. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of cool because you can like shoot past something a little bit and like slingshot around. I think that's very engaging in a lot of ways. I'll tell you about a couple of different things that this reminds me of. Orange squares have their own gravitational force. It seems to me, yeah, like these are like black holes or something. They're planetary objects that are sucking you in. I don't know if they can crush me. So first off, okay. First off, I need to write stuff down so that I don't forget. Because I've said, I'm going to say this about 10 times, and then it has not come to fruition. So first off, throwing, and then frog, and then old board game. Okay. Got it. They're not supposed to crush and move slower. Okay, perfect. Good to know. All right. So first off, when I first started playing, I did not know I was this object. Now that I understand that, it makes sense, although it looks like it maybe broke here. Early game, makes sense, early prototype. I want to just be able to attach myself to an object that's going in the direction that I want, and then use that as a like mobile platform to hurl my purple cube. Right? I want to be able to hurl my cube without moving. And maybe that goes against the design philosophy, but it's like if I can't do that, I'm going to do like little short hops as much as possible to like try and not move as much as possible. Yes, Risky Biscuit, this is Jack's game. Yes, we're getting to it. So that's one interaction that I'm experiencing. So I'm not totally sure what you mean by a grapple. I just want to be able to hurl my purple without moving. And like I said, I don't know if that's within the philosophy or not. If it's not in the philosophy of the game design, then you need to like find a way to make it compelling to move and shoot at the same time. Because right now it just seems like I'm taking risks. Like I'd rather not take the risk, right? Okay, yeah, on the floor. Yeah, I mean, anywhere. Like, if I'm on one of these orange blocks or something, then I want to be able to just hang out and snipe, right? Shoot, 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 shoot. So that was one thing that I was experiencing while playing. And then it reminded me of Frog. Let me pull this up here. All right, we'll get past this ad. You can try to do that in the future. And like you may not want to, and that's reasonable. You may decide, I don't want people to feel safe. I don't want people to do that. Just then, if that is the case, it needs to be like a really engaging and meaningful choice, because Right now, it feels like I just have to needlessly throw myself into danger or work really hard to not do that in order to throw it. At a glance, it's hard to tell how the game controls. Yeah. So that's where we're going to get into here with Frog. I'm going to jump ahead here. So this is Frog. It's a similar sort of thing. It is not the same thing. Not the same thing at all, but it's similar, right? You're bouncing between all of these different objects and walls, and then instead of that purple cube, he hurls his sword. And that's what I was thinking of the whole time while playing this. Right? So you can dash through enemies, and that'll slash. And it's pretty clear where you can go and how your movement will be affected because it's turn-based. You don't have that luxury being in a real-time game. Where are we here? Hold on. Here we go. You don't have that luxury here, right? Because you're doing it synchronously. But maybe even having like a aiming trajectory sort of thing, like a bubble bobble ray could help with that, just to kind of trace it a little bit, or not. Here we go. This is what I'm thinking about. You know, this sort of like your direction is here sort of a thing. A Peglin does this as well, which is a more modern interpretation right here, right? So you see, okay, I'm going to go over here, bounce off, and go over here. Once again, it's turn-based. It's a little trickier because it's synchronous, but it's something to consider. Turn-based action of the Frog game is neat. Yes, I completely agree. And the turn-based nature of it also allows you to kind of experiment with controls a lot. So this, I think, another thing to be very wary of is that you got to be very careful about how you introduce things because it is synchronous. It feels very... You don't feel very much in control. Like, even if there was like a little jetpack you could activate to like alter the trajectory in some way so that when... I mean, that's the whole principle behind a double jump, right? It's like, it's giving you a little bit of forgiveness. And I think that's what I'm feeling, is there's a lack of forgiveness here. That when I commit to something, I'm out of control now. I do not have the option to make a shift. That being said, I love how the cube rotates. It's kind of mesmerizing to watch it, and watch it as it interacts with gravitational fields and stuff. The fact that the angle of the cube rotates, I think, is great. I really like that. Very satisfying. Slow down time when you hold the jump before you release, maybe, so you get the best of both worlds. It's a possibility. Aubrey, I love Peglin, nice. Yeah, Peglin's great. Same thing with like Round Guard, if you've played Round Guard. I could have it so when you point the projectile to the ground, a ray comes out, with the projectile having knockback be a possible option. How do you mean? I guess I'm not really understanding your question there. Hey, little guy. Are you hungies? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Anonymous, thank you for those gift subs right at the start of the stream, hitting our goal there. You're putting formula directly into this kid's bottle, so thank you. Oh yeah, see, I'm getting squished right there. Can I jump still? No jumping. So now I'm stuck. I gotta wait. That's another thing to be careful about. It's like if you're in the air rather than a double jump, when you shoot, it pushes you in the opposite direction. Could be. Super Robot, your game is 60% ready for release. That's very exciting. Congratulations. I can't wait to see it. So, like, taking cues from this, right? As soon as you make a decision, you are committed to the consequences of your action. However, you should be able to predict what those consequences are. And I think that's a lot of what I was thinking about this morning. I think it's a lot of what makes Shogun Showdown feel like an empowering puzzle, because you know what you're getting into. So taking that away from the player kind of reduces empowerment. However, it does increase randomness, and that's not a bad thing, right? It's just something to be aware of while you're designing, that you may want to find ways to shore up empowerment and ways to lean in and magnify randomness. Especially anything that gets the player like rotating in interesting ways, I think is what's going to make it a very visually appealing game. And if you want something that's like streamable, getting something that's really eye-catching and that captures attention with oddly oddly moving things, like that's really something to consider. Okay, so those were my thoughts. That was Frog. There's another thing that I want to bring up. If I can remember the game, it's a game that I played with my dad. My dad is an old school board game aficionado. And he had me play this game with him somewhat recently that was absolutely fascinating. And I highly doubt I'm going to be able to find it. They did a reprint on Kickstarter, but old school board game with gravity and space combat. If I can figure out... Oh, Triplanetary! Was it Triplanetary? Was it Triplanetary? Let me see here. This is relevant to your game because it kind of handles movement. Yes, it was Triplanetary. Good. Okay, good. Awesome. Bring this up. This is Triplanetary. This is a very confusing board game, but it reminds me of your game where you are a ship and you have to take off from plan. I mean, look at these diagrams, right? All of these things are just explaining how to move in this game. The first several scenarios are literally just move from point A to point B in a straight line and land your ship without crashing. That's like the whole scenario. So you have to like account for gravity leaving a planet. It affects your trajectory. So like you're going this way, gravity pulls you this way, and so it alters your trajectory. Oops. And it's all sorts of wacky craziness. And your game made me think of this in a very big way, in a good way, because even though this was very difficult to handle, it's because it was all manual. Yours is automatic. Yours takes all of the thinking out of it in terms of the math, but it leaves that really juicy, like, how do I navigate a planet? How do I, get around these planetary bodies? So just as a thought, maybe this is a game to look at and take some inspiration from. See, how did they do this 40 years ago in an analog setting, and what can be learned from it? But yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts. Obviously, like you said, it's very early. But the basic idea, I think, has some legs. It is going to be difficult from a design perspective to make sure that it's all feeling great, but I definitely think there is a reality where it can feel great. Like I said, it could be incredibly visually mesmerizing. Like that. That feels so good. That feels so good right there. In fact, I could almost see this more as a puzzle game than I could as like an action game, right? Something really broke. I have no idea why. Well, there's that other 40% right in front of you. Super Robot. Exactly, Risky Biscuit. Yeah, so those are my thoughts. I think there's something there. You got to be careful and be very deliberate about the design and be very crystal clear about what you want this play experience to be. What is it that you want to accomplish with this thing? What experience should people have? And then drive for it relentlessly, which is the same advice, that everyone should be following. But I think it's going to be even more important here because this is a very different sort of genre. You're not going to be able to fall back on Jacob's Law very well. Although I have to admit, I would kind of expect to use like left click instead of space, right? Because I'm already maneuvering with the mouse. So it feels weird to then jump over to the keyboard if I don't already have something else on the keyboard that is supposed to be doing stuff. Yeah. There we go. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts, Jack? Anything in particular you'd like to discuss with us beforehand? I do think sound design is going to be really important for this. I think you've got a lot of opportunities for really killer sound design opportunities with, being next to a gravitational body, kind of pulling you in a warm, sort of a thing. And it can really enhance that feel. I prepared to use a controller for this because I felt the joystick was nicer. Sort of just threw out the spacebar. I totally get that. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, anything else you wanted to review or discuss? Anything in particular you wanted to call attention to? I want to make sure you're getting the most out of your channel points. They're a precious commodity. There's only so many of them in the world. Ameripon, hello. We are doing a critique for Jack's game. He submitted the channel points for it yesterday, and it didn't work with keyboard and mouse. And then he went and fixed it, and I didn't realize he had fixed it. And I didn't realize he did. So we're doing it right now. Did I hear sound design? There's Down V right on cue. I have too many. I'm basically flooding the market. No, hey, that's exactly what Alex Nord has done. He made a prototype like this every single day over the course of like a month, and he posted about it on a bunch of Discords. And now he's getting a lot of contract work from people saying, hey, can you build this really tough part of the game for us? Because we don't want to deal with collision detection or anything. Can we throw money at this problem and you fix it for us? And he said he's made more money in the past 2 weeks doing that than he did in 6 months as a web engineer with 18 years experience. So this is great. Could get you to critique this another 11 times. You know what? I did get to it late, so you feel free when you've got the next version you want some feedback on, you just send it over. We'll do another critique on it for free. The value is out of this world. Thornityco, hello. Thank you so much for your subscription. How are you today? How are you, Thornity? I saw the follow earlier this morning, I believe, or something. I don't know. 4 hours ago. Thank you so much. And the shout out. I appreciate that. By the way, Thornityco, definitely go hang out with Thornityco. Another great game dev streamer. Although, I admit, Thornity, I don't believe you're on my sticky note of people and games. What are you working on? What are you building? Were you, I think you streamed Barricade recently, right? Sockhouse Studios games. You got the sub goal. Congrats. Yes, Tom. Thank you very much for your support on that. We started up the stream, and Anonymous Gifter gave 5 gift subs today. So big thank you. And thank you, Tom, as well, for your contribution. Sorry. Thank you and everyone else who has subscribed. You are giving us a bigger buffer to feed my family until we are able to make this wild dream a reality. So thank you so much. Had to grab the founder badge. You got it, man. It's yours. It is right in there. Tell Down V that if a game I make ever gets to the point, you will be 200 years old. What gets to the point of audio design? Foolbox, just need to share this, but I wrote my first shader ever just now. So many new possibilities opening up to me. Wow. I think I smell a guest spotlight, Foolbox, where you teach us all how to write shaders. Probably 50 hours of playing Barricade. Wow. I think I remember now. I think you're the one that Sockhouse said is really good at the pistol. Is that right? Am I remembering that right? I feel like Dropbox is horrible source control. As a server, wow. Shaders and go, oh yeah, well, I don't know. Anyway, I got to go eat, and then I'll catch the later half the stream. Thanks so much, Jack. Thank you for throwing your game up for critique. It requires courage. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. It's great getting to see what you're producing. You're fantastic. Beat the game with just the pistol, and he nerfed it. Oh, that's great. Okay. Well, folks, we're going to call that for the critique of Jack's wonderful game. Once again, very grateful to Jack for doing that and bringing it in. We're going to get into some game dev, and we're going to talk about the Pirate Software Game Jam while we do some game dev, too, because there's a lot to talk about and a lot of stuff we can learn from as a community. I think it would be doing ourselves a disservice if we just tried to, ignore what is happening over there in that community. I don't want to be any judgmental in any regard, But I think, as always, it's good to talk about what works and what doesn't work, so we can learn. We can repeat the things that do and avoid the things that don't. That's it. Game critiques feel very philosophical and in-depth. I love it. Oh, I'm glad, Aubrey. I'm glad. I learned so much of critique analysis from being a product designer of 10 years, and then as well from my film analysis professor in college, who I just adored. And I only ever had one class, and I don't think he really understands the impact he had in my life. It completely changed how I consume media, and it has been foundational for me in my life. Pirate Jam was rigged. I didn't win. Yeah, I mean, none of us won, so clearly it was rigged. Although I did see, we did have some of our interviewees get on the honorable mentions list. We had Colorette, and we had Clown Around get on the honorable mention list. Very exciting for them. Very, very exciting. Very happy for them. So we're going to go ahead and run an ad, and then we'll jump into some game dev for the next hour. And then for the last half hour or so of the stream, we'll do some more Shogun Showdown analysis. So thank you so much for everyone for being here. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for the subscriptions, the follows, and everyone coming and hanging out today. You're making a wild dream come true, not just for me, but also for others. And I've been seeing it. I don't know if you guys have been seeing it, but I've been seeing it. Of people coming in to this community who have not made games before or are very early, and they're finding a community of encouraging, supportive people that are carrying them through the tough times. And I've seen people start to become successful, like Alex Nord. So thank you. Thank you so much for your presence, your support. It means the world. And we'll go to ads, and we'll be back in just 90 seconds. All right, thanks so much for your patience during all that. Let's catch up on the chatteroonies. That's Easy Yasuke. Roruni Kenshin. Fine work with Hillock says. All right. Down V, yeah, that's me. I'm the favorite samurai, says Down V. Tom Millman. Or no, you're probably saying you were validating that this was your account on Twitch. Got it. I still think you should. Everyone should believe that they are their favorite samurai. You know, let's talk about self-confidence on the stream for a little bit, right? Favorite samurai, I think I'm only familiar with Samurai Jack. We had that same one from yesterday, too. I want to get up a community open source pool of questions that people can submit, because I like the idea, and as long as it's curated to not be outrageous, I think it would be a good time. Still Date Masamune, I love it, and paired with the Artemis emote is great. Still think you should make the entire critique section into a highlight, maybe cut out ad breaks, then export to Unity. I'm assuming you mean YouTube. Would make for good standalone videos there. I agree. I need to have the time to do it. But I did agree with you. And we're actually going to be trying that Risky Biscuit. We're going to be scouting out different video editors that we could throw some money at. We're going to do 5 different video editors and see what they produce. We'll upload all of them to YouTube. And we'll see kind of what performs and what I like and what you guys all like. And we'll kind of go from there. Because if if these critique analysis videos are of value to people and they bring in better views, and that gives us a bigger platform to help people with. So we're gonna experiment with throwing some money at it. Thank you all for your subscriptions. You're making that possible. Risky, you gave me an idea for a further suggestion. You could record the section of the Twitch stream where you critique it and upload it as a public or unlisted video on YouTube for the person who requested it to see and rewatch it. Yes, we are going to be doing that, Aubrey. Yes, we are going to be doing that. Want to do that, and I also want to bring in a new channel points as well for like a shout out for an individual or an I need encouragement sort of thing, because that's something that I'm seeing. I'm doing a lot of polls over on YouTube. By the way, if you're not on YouTube, go subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're doing a lot of polls over there to see who. Whoa, Tom Millman with another gift sub. You're outrageous, Tom. Thank you. Yeah, doing a lot of polls and seeing at what points do people like break down in their process of building games, and motivation is a big one. Having the motivation to just get through to the end, huge, absolutely massive. And so being able to like have a space where they can come in and say, I need some motivation, and we all just like swarm on them and talk about things that we like about what they're producing or who they are or something, upload that to YouTube, give that to them as something that they can share, I think would be really neat. I'd love to do that. Narvin, hello! Just want to say you're doing a fantastic job with this channel, by the way. Oh, love the direction you're taking it. The quick growth is super impressive and inspiring. Keep being awesome, dude. Oh, heavens, Narvin, thank you. My goodness, that just, that sends my heart off into the stratosphere. Thank you so much. YouTube, not Unity. Yeah, got it, Risky K. Good. Down V, I'm still going to be on YouTube. It's comfy here. Hey, man, you go where you want to go. Everyone gets to watch where they want to watch. Absolutely. Unity is always in my mind. Oh, shoot. Twitch highlight system is pretty good and quick. I agree. And so I actually did make like 7 shorts from that critique video yesterday. And we'll be uploading those once every day. So, right on. It's hard to sustain, says Shepherd's Hound. This is why critique is good. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mr. Beast? Might not know about the best new investment apps now, though. Bless open-minded thinking. That's great. Hunter Rules on YouTube. Hey, man, love your work. You reading chat? Will you tell me, Hunter Rules? By the way, is your name Hunter, and do you rule? I hope so. I hope so. Thanks for joining us today. It's great. Okay, right on. Hey, people, you're all fantastic. I don't know. Sorry, can I take a moment to gush for a second, get a little sappy, get a little awkward? Can I go cringe for a second? When I got laid off in November, my wife and I had no idea what to do. Insurance was running out before our kid was going to be born. We had no clue what was going on. Oh, Fortune's Favorite, welcome back. You missed the critique of Jack's game. It was great. You should definitely go back and watch it. There was a lot of good discussion and insight there. Yeah, when I got laid off in November, I had no idea what on earth was going to happen. I was looking for new product design jobs, and the market was just exploding in a bad way. And I had no clue what I was going to do, how I was going to provide for my family. And I was outraged at what I perceive as extreme immorality in hiring practices and unethical behavior. If you ever want to get me ranting for hours, just talk about hiring in tech, and I'll go full on it. K Hadao is here. You got a little snippet of that the other day. And when this idea was shoved into my mind to do this and to try and help other people develop the skill sets that they needed to gain access to the video game industry, I thought it was ridiculous. I've never been the type of person to try and like be an entrepreneur or anything or start anything. I always just wanted a comfortable job that I could go work at and be secure and take care of my family. And it was a massive, and still is every day, a massive leap of faith to dive into this. And I just want to say a big thank you to everyone for really frankly, in my mind, being angels, being sent to give us this early indicator of direction. It has meant the whole world. And we'd still be doing this if no one was here. But the fact that there are people here, I really want to cry. So thank you all. Appreciate you all. I truly, truly do. not just for me and for my family, but because I'm seeing this having the effect that we hoped it would, of people really helping each other. So thank you. Moved to Colorado for a job and was let go in my first 90 days. It sucked being 5 states away from my friends. That is rough, Fortunes. Yikes. Oh, Risky, you're great. Hunter Rules, you're fantastic. Super Robiber, I hope it gets worked out for you. Good luck. And fine work with Hillock. How's the game jam going, by the way, fine work? I haven't seen any updates on the Metroidvania. How's that all going? How's Mage Knight 2? Okay, so I did a lot of work on stuff that last night. We got some like speed rings built in. We got some sprites in for that. So like Sonic, you can like jump through those and get a big velocity boost. Right now we're building our barrels, which you can see the sprite over here. So like you jump into that and you like phase out, and then you'll get an arrow that rotates up and down. And so pure Donkey Kong country. This is a huge shout out to GameMaker 2D Fighters. And then you press jump at the right spot and you traject out. Hunter Rules. You're so much better than that other game dev guy on YouTube, the one who used to work for Blizzard. Wish the best for you, King. Well, that's far too generous. Thor has tremendous experience that I'd be very lucky to be privy to for a little while. And he's doing a great thing. He's one of the big reasons that I'm here, actually. Early on, from the layoff, I was trying to figure out, gosh, what do I do? Because, like, I've never really felt like I fit in with product design. I'm not the kind of designer that so many places want. They just want visual designers. They want artists. And I'm not an artist. I'm a strategist. I'm all these other things. And then I started seeing Thor's shorts and saying, you can make games. And I thought, you know what? I think he's right. And I'm going to do it, and I'm going to figure it out. And then I did nothing because it was just about me, and I've never been motivated about me. But it was really integral to get my brain thinking so that when the right idea came along and was sent, we could find the motivation to start working on it. Literally only found him about a week ago. Desist Dawdling, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. How are you doing today, by the way? Feel free to share anything about that you're working on. We're all about sharing each other's successes here. We're a charitable enterprise devoted to helping people gain the skill sets they need to enter the video game industry. And we're working on that for myself right now, trying to build a game, a roguelike about a dog trying to reclaim his owner's soul by entering a race. So it's a racing, roguelike, sort of Hades-style thing. We're really excited about it. We're going to have a demo out here within a couple weeks. My wife is doing the illustrations. She did the illustration behind me. And she's working on the new dog right now, and that'll be in probably before the end of the week, which is really great. Maybe in today. Ooh. Supposed to get help from 2 different people, but neither of them seem to be willing to help out. I'm sorry, fine work. I was so excited to co-work with people, but as days go by, I'm just doing my thing as usual. Oh, that's a bummer. The right team makes or breaks an endeavor, you know? It really does. I'm sorry that you've run into issues here. My heart reaches out to you. Video games, let's go, Tom Sutton. So my wife is postpartum, right? Had a kid a week ago. She's got this wrap now for her ribs to try and like help things compress a little bit and heal better. And I admit, the thought once or twice has come into my mind, I wonder if Tom Sutton might like one of these. Thor is amazing, says Desist Dawdling. I'm new to the game dev side, helping support a 3D game in the works and planning my own VTM-like game. Very cool, Desist Dawdling. Wonderful to hear. Thank you for sharing. May I ask, what's a VTM game? I'm unfamiliar with that acronym. VTM game? Like Vampire the Masquerade? Very, very cool. Yeah, I'd love to hear all about what you're working on. It is Vampire the Masquerade. Okay. Very cool. So are you doing it like, are you going to try to get officially licensed, or is it just kind of inspired by? I love Vampire the Masquerade. Love Vampire the Masquerade. That was one of those early games I played in my childhood that really kind of captured my brain in a heavy way. And I didn't know until I was older that it was a tabletop RPG. And I didn't know until I was even older than that. I was like, oh, the people that play this are maybe a little too intense for me. I don't love all the politic role-playing necessarily. And then I started getting into role-playing games. And I was like, this is all freaking rad. Maybe I'd like to play Vampire. And that's kind of where I've stopped. Risky Biscuit. You must not be a fan of me then. Inspired by. Okay, cool. So you're going to have like different vampire factions in a modern day setting, possibly kind of working together. Are you gonna bring in the Guru? The werewolves or anything? Or Hunter Rules on YouTube. The worst part of development is when you have to code a bunch of code without being able to test it. It feels like riding blind. I hear that. I'm working on these powers here. By the way, don't pay attention to the quality of the code. Just look at the volume of the code. All of these powers I have built without testing a darn thing. I'm very nervous about finishing up this barrel and seeing all the different places that things are just not working. Hey, Super Robiber! Yay, it fixed itself. Not yet planned, says Desist Dawdling. Well, you know you got a fan. If you bring in werewolves, I'm right there. Bring in some changeling. Benwill! I used to LARP Vampire back in the day in a room under an Arby's where local musicians used to play. Rock, paper, scissors gets intense. Benwill, I'm going to need a full report on some of those stories there. I'm sure some wild stuff went down underneath that Arby's. Oh my gosh, you all are fantastic. Thank you, Risky. I appreciate it. Built all the powers without testing them. We're prepared to change them to do nothing functions. Yes, I agree. One quote I like is that practice makes progress rather than practice makes perfect, because nothing is perfect and everything can always be improved upon. I agree. And then the analog to that is imperfect practice makes imperfect cement behaviors. There's a better saying than that, but you get the idea. Okay, so we're trying to get the arrow. Let's do some actual game dev. Trying to get the arrow to pivot. So I want the barrel to be like here, and then the arrow should be like pivoting like this. Oops, excuse me. So I need to figure out like how do I get it to go up to a certain angle and then go down to a certain angle. And that's where I wrapped up last night. It was getting really late. My brain was not functioning anymore. And I wrote this to remind myself what I was trying. It's more that Thor is built up as the big guy. And I don't know, like he's cool, but I don't see why they are more now than others. At least in my metrics of what I like. I mean, that's fair, right? Like, that's the thing. Cults of personality are real, right? And I'm not saying Thor is a cult of personality. I think he's a very good storyteller. And I think that storytelling resonates with people very well. And I think that storytelling capacity evolved over like 6 years of streaming. And I think he just got really good at it. And I think that resonates with people. And then when you kind of hit that critical mass, you kind of lose control to a certain degree of your perception. People will take it and run. And there are going to be people that idolize, and there's going to be people that, take things too far. That's the way it always goes in humanity. So I can understand what you're saying, Risky Biscuit. He's a cool dude, and he does a lot of good stuff. Is he, like, the greatest game developer and greatest person on the planet? No. But, like, he's a cool dude, and I think he's done a lot of stuff right, and I think he deserves all the success that he's getting. Make the gods dogs, says Down V. So, actually, that's going to be a part of the story. The backstory here is that, like, land-based animals compete in this race a lot, but rarely do they ever win. It's usually like birds. And so the fact that a dog is entering and a city dog is entering is like this weird, nobody thinks there's any, it quite literally is an underdog. So, yeah, Tom, exactly. And that's the way virality tends to go. It's the way virality tends to go is you toil in obscurity for a very long time. You continually refine your craft. You get better, you get better, you get better. And then one day, some critical event happens. And then you hockey stick. That's the way virality tends to happen. There are plenty of stories of people that like slowly increment over time. But I don't know. Those people are out there all over the place. But when you see explosive growth, it's usually that. It's usually not a whole lot of progress and then critical mass. Same thing happened with Walk Off the Earth. the band when their video of what's it called, the breakup song. It was their first video where they had 5 dudes on one guitar, and it sent them crazy viral. And they did an interview, and their lead singer, she said, the virality would have meant nothing on that video if we didn't have a huge volume of work to go look through. Because if people just saw our videos and then left, it wouldn't have mattered. So you got to put in your dues, usually. It's a Toby story. I'm unfamiliar with Toby. Imagine a mirror world as a bonus post-game secret, which reverses the concept of things so the dog character will become a god. Very silly idea. So that's kind of funny because one thing that I want to do, if we can have the time and the scope to do it, is as you choose your boons and you kind of align with different gods, it affects the appearance of the dog character. So like if you're going heavy into the gravity-related god, then you start turning purple. And if you go into the water-related god, like you get a fishtail or something, you know? And then the very end of the game, if you beat it, like the owner is kind of holding the dog and rubbing their head, and that is all represented in that final illustration. I think that would be fun. I don't know if we'll be able to, but I think it would be fun. Robiber, I'm so sorry. That's exactly what Thor said, and that's why I'm continuing to do devlogs, even though I get about 50 views on them. Do you have a YouTube, Tom? I thought you just did Twitch. Hold on. Tom Millman. Is it the same thing on YouTube? Tom Millman. Yes. 7 subscribers? Well, I'm your 8th subscriber. Wait, hold on. This looks like you, but all I'm seeing is air diving, skydiving. I think I might have the wrong Tom Millman. Maybe. But yeah, definitely keep working at it. My devlogs get almost nothing most of the time. I've got a couple videos that have like a couple thousand views, but that's it. You know, we hit 20,000 views the other day. That was exciting. But most, like the short we published yesterday, which I thought was a very good content, got 20 views, which is outrageous because it had like 90% watch retention, but only like 30% watch rate. So YouTube was like, oh, no one cares about this. And only a couple of nerds do. So keep going. You never know when things are going to explode. I like that. Aubrey's cool. Cool. I like it too. I'm glad you like it. Airbud, isn't he named Toby? I don't know. Is Airbud named Toby? Silly idea off that. Should be a parallel world where the dogs are gods and the gods need to appease the dogs. I mean, that's just real life, man. Like, we're all just trying to like help out dogs. That's just normal. Can you explain the game a bit more? It sounds really cool. Ask Hunter Rules. Sure. Let me comment this all out so that we can actually run the game. So you are a dog whose owner has passed on, and the beginning of the game is going to be, oh dear. Hold on. Where are we at here? Well, why are you broken? You are entering a competition. Oh, we're missing there we go. Entering a competition to rescue your owner's soul. And so this is all early art. None of this is going to be in the final version. You know, this is all placeholder. But oh dear, and we break. All right. Anyways, the idea is you saw it. You're going to jump between those different platforms, roguelike style. You pick up loot on the way. Every 60 seconds, you go to a shop where you invest your treasure you've picked up into different gods, and those gods will give you boons. So think Hades style, right? But instead of like a random god showing up and you have to pick between 3, you get 3 different gods, and you get to choose which one of those you invest in from a pool of 6 gods. Now, because they're gods, and in pantheons, gods always hate each other, when you invest in one, their enemies are going to hate you now, right? And so now they send their enemies against you while your god is sending their boons to try and help you out. So kind of like dynamically adjusts the play area as the player moves through it, is the thought. And that's the basic idea. You repeat that a few times. If you make it through all the way to the end of the race, then you win, and you get the boon that you asked for to resurrect your dead owner. That's me, but that's my private account. Okay. TDSR Entertainment. 63 subscribers. Well, count me your 64th. Hey, use the same Thor face that I used, that I got called out by him on Twitter for. Nice. 2 weeks, was it worth it? Oh, man. That's a video I'm sure is gonna age interestingly. Very cool. That reminds me of that one Family Guy episode with Stewie and Brian. Work to make my dog as comfortable as possible. Absolutely, absolutely. And I know Tom Sutton has a special relationship of working in dogs, so we all do it. We all do it in one way or another. Hunter Rules, kind of like Duck Life. You play over and over and get better. Cool. I'm unfamiliar with Duck Life. I don't know. Down V on YouTube. So when the main dog character is mutated by gods and he comes to the owner, what does the owner say? You're just like my dog, but you have a fishtail. Yeah, because he's the owner of the dog and he can feel the spirit. Listen, if your dog resurrected you from the grave and greeted you with a big sloppy kiss, would you be, like, weirded out by the fact that he was purple now? Or would you be like, clearly some stuff has gone down, but this is obviously my dog. I'm happy to be here. You tell me which one you are, and I'll tell you if you're wrong or not. All right, where are we at here? Arrow. Gotta get this darn arrow. Okay. Uncomment. No, not double comment. Uncomment. It's an old Flash game that was popular back in the day. Okay. Duck Life? I played a lot of Flash games. Yeah, but I don't recognize this one. When did it come out? 2023 it was last updated. It was released in 1998. Wow. 335,000 votes on one site, giving it a 4.7 rating out of 5. Jiminy Christmas. Interesting. So this looks like an auto racer, kind of like Sonic Adventures had with the little blue guys. What was their names? Chorizo? I think they were called Chorizo. Very cool. So it's not like that. You do take control of the game. You control the dog. But it is, it's a racing game. And if we have time and scope, maybe in an expansion, I don't know, depends on if it's success, you train through minigames. Nice. I love that genre of game, and I never see it really being made anymore. Although there is a very successful mobile game that does that, and I hate it because it's nonsense. It's complete just like... It takes all the cool parts of that genre of game and reduces it into a gacha-style equipment race that you have no agency over. There's zero player empowerment, and I hate it. It makes me very sad, because I remember Sonic Adventures and how rad it was. Okay. So, I was thinking it was going to be a bittersweet ending. The dog rescues their owner, but they change so much on the quest that they don't get recognized by the human. No, because I have a heart, Mothman Centaur. Gotta jump to meetings. See you later. See you later, Risky Biscuit. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. I appreciate you. I hope your meetings go well and that your game keeps on going well. By the way, everyone, Risky Biscuit makes a really rad game. He's making an educational horror game, and it's every bit as intriguing as you would think it is. Go check him out. He's on Twitch and YouTube. Okay. Else if. So what we're doing here is if your image angle is less than 45 degrees, right? So we start at 0, we go up to 45. And bet, oh my gosh, yeah. No, it's rad. You want to go check out SOS is its title. It's great. It's great. And Risky Biscuit's a great streamer. Really great stream to hang out in. Okay, up to 45. And then once you hit 45, we want it to go down. So I was thinking about this last night. If we just say if we're less than 45, then you increment, then we can't really have it go back down, because if we say if you're at 45, then decrement, and then you'll be below, and you'll just swap right back. So we need to be setting a flag. We need to be swapping a flag around, right? That's what we need. So let's add a create variable here. Set directional flag. And we'll just say variable is direction. Direction. Oh, that's a thing. Angle, I don't know, sign, angle sign, and then that can be start at 1. So, if, we don't even need ifs, right? Because if we have that angle sign, then all we do is we increment image angle by image sign, right? Angle sign? Angle sign. That's what it is. Angle sign. And then that can be positive or negative, and it will be going in the right direction. So what we need to do is if we hit this thing, then we need to set angle sign to be a negative number. Hold on, we've got these scroll rate counters and everything too. Oh, right. Okay. So we're going to bring these out of this if. We have an ad about to start, but don't worry, we'll pause. We'll pause the game dev. All right. We're going to replace image angle with this, image angle plus plus with that. So this is saying basically be on a timer, and every time that timer goes off, change your angle by this much. Makes sense to me. Now, what we need is a check to say if you are at 45 degrees, then change angle sign equals -1. Right? Now we'll just decrement, so that should theoretically bring it back down into the negatives. And then we just repeat this same thing here. Instead of angle sign equals -1, we say angle sign equals 1. And we'll say -45. I don't know if it does negative angles. It should do negative angles. Hunter rules. Have you heard of Templios? I have not heard of Templios. Templios. Temple OS? Okay. Biblical-themed lightweight operating system designed to be the third temple prophesied in the Bible? What is this? What? Wow. Interesting. I'll give it that. You got me intrigued. I'm very curious. Man. All right. And I think that's theoretically, the barrel. All coded in assembly. Ooh, sheesh. Well, better programmer than I am, that's for sure. Okay, so we've got all this stuff here. Now, everything's from scratch. That's wild. That's crazy. Now we need to go in and start verifying all these things work. So we're going to manually set our boon arrays to one at a time, and we'll run through and we'll just verify. We'll do debugging for the next 20 minutes. And then after those 20 minutes, we'll go into our Shogun Showdown analysis. You won't want to miss it. It's going to be part 2. I don't know how many parts we're going to do, but it'll be a rad time. With that, we're going to start in our ad soon. Pay attention to the question. We'll see you in just a little bit. All right, the award goes to Fine Work with Hillock, who's the only person who responded with Peach. Peaches, 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 I love you, yeah. All right. I bet you can't tell what my daughter has been fascinated with recently on Netflix. Player dot acquired boons equals, and we're just going to one by one. We're going to say jump height up. Jump dot height. Or no, it's the string value. That's what we do. I saw the favorite samurai question when I looked. I know I needed to update it. I got to find a way to like automate that, where every time the scene loads, a different thing gets read in. One of these days, I'll be a real big boy streamer, and we'll make stuff happen. Okay. I'm constantly busy. Risky Biscuit has been helping me today get my own Discord community kind of fleshed out a little bit, and dealing with this sort of like game dev streamers guild that I started up in Discord and getting stuff settled there. And so it's a lot. We got a lot of stuff going on, and that's okay. So we're going to do show debug message of jump.height. Now, jump.height should be equal to, where's our player create function? There it is. Jump.height is 7, so it should be equal to 9 with this boon in play. Let's see if we get this going. Tom Millman, I think you might be able to have a text file with a bunch of questions and set up something like StreamerBot to take one randomly and populate it into the text field. Yes. Yeah. That sounds reasonable. In the hands of someone who knows what they're doing. But we'll get it worked out. Yeah. Hunter Rules. The crazy part is that the 3D game engine, OS, audio manager, and compiler all fits under 1 megabyte. Just note that it's a major rabbit hole. Wow. For Temple OS, that's crazy, man. That's some wild stuff. So we got a jump height of 14, which is weird. It shouldn't be 14, right? Let's see. Where are we setting jump.height? Oh, equals 12. Okay, so we actually got it right. So 12 plus 2, that's 14. Good. Great. First one's perfectly working. Dodge window up. And then we're going to debug this one now. This is the thankless work that is not very attractive. This is all the stuff that Thor does off stream because it's not very fun. Hey, Alex Nord, we've been talking about you today. How are you doing, friend? How are those contracts working for you? Okay, 72. And we're adding 12. So that means that's working because the vulnerability frames are 60. So that's good. So that one's working. Let's do double jump. And we'll look at our jump max. Don't forget the quotes. It is fun every now and again thinking about how far I've come as a developer. You know, thinking back to those early streams in November when I was just barely starting with no prior experience. First off, the stream's way better. I still haven't figured out the invisibility cloak. All right, we got 3 jumps. Good. That one's working. But we, you know, I just... Stuff like the quote I would have missed all the time, and I'm not anymore. It's nice. It's nice to take a note of the delta from where you were to where you are right now, and that's one of the keys to motivation, is getting feedback on your improvement. It's why practicing a musical instrument and getting to be an expert at anything is so hard, because you have a really sharp increase in proficiency from nothing to proficient, and then you have this grueling, slow, like asymptotal progress that lasts forever. And it's really hard to tell if you have hit that point or not, or to see the progress because it's just so slow. So you got to make the space and time in order to observe that so you can have the motivation. I hope they're positive words. They're very positive words. I was talking about just how super happy I am for you with all of your contract work you've been getting. Very impressed and thrilled, and very grateful you've been sharing the journey with us all, and sharing how you did it, too. We were talking with Jack earlier in the stream who asked us to critique one of his prototypes that he made. And I shared with everyone what you did of building like a prototype every day for a few months and sharing it out to communities. And then people noticed, hey, you're actually pretty good at this stuff. And now people with money start saying, hey, can I throw some of this money at you and you can take my problems away? It's great. It's super cool. What are we debugging? Jump.speedx. What's speedx? 10? No, it's 2. Okay, it is 2, and it is getting incremented to 3, which is exactly what it should be. So before we do this acquired boon, I'm going to do another show debug message. So I don't have to hunt down the values anymore, and I can just see the before and after. But next up, jump length is working. Let's do heal. We're going to do revives. And then we will do debug revives. Hit play. 0 and 1. Perfect. Working just fine. Just getting my feet wet with netcode the other day. We'll definitely bug you with questions one of these days. That's exciting. Fine work with Hillock. That's great. Tom Millman. Code Monkey's amazing and long tutorial on multiplayer from which I learned the basics. Wow. There's another streamer as well who hangs out here somewhat frequently. His name is Nerkmind. He's actively working on a multiplayer game, and I believe he's like a network associate director or something for his day job. So he knows what he's talking about. Let's do the shout out here. Nerkmind. Building a Fall Guys type sort of experience. That's how I interpret it. He may disagree with it. About rats in the sewers trying to get through a little maze and stuff with obstacles knocking you down. He's live right now. Well, of course, Tom knows that. You're probably in his stream right now, aren't you, Tom? What's the running tally right now, Tom, by the way? How many are you in right now? But yeah, he does really cool stuff. Go check out Nerkmind. If you want to learn multiplayer and kind of chat with someone while you do it, he's a great dude to hang out with. Jump boost up. And that will be jump boost. And this is just, jump boost is just like the initial velocity boost you get when you jump. Negative 2.5 to 0, and that's not good. We need that to get lower, not higher. So we're going the wrong direction on it. We're doing minus a negative, so we gotta do plus equals. There we go. Okay. And then that should work just fine. For you, Cricket, Nerkmind, and Irish John. You know, I don't follow Irish John yet. Hold on. I need to go follow Irish John, because you've mentioned him multiple times. And if you do, then he's got to be a pretty cool guy. Irish John Games? Is that the guy? All right. Throwing him a follow. Cool. All right. Negative 2.5 to 5. There we go. Got it. Easy game. Easy. What's after jump boost up? We've got gather tribute. Gather tribute. And this is just checking to see if all the flags are working correctly. We'll deal with are they actually taking effect another time. Okay, so that's not working. Gather tribute is still being false. So where are we setting gather tribute? We have the initial assignment of false. And then we have setting it to true. And then we have this. So how is that not being true? What? Are we not triggering the if? Did I typo? Oh, yeah, that's our problem. Gather tribute. There we go. There we go. By the way, we've got a lot of people in here today. Thank you for joining us across Twitch and YouTube. It's wonderful to have you all. We got the 0 and the 1. That's good. For any of you who are new, we are a charitable enterprise dedicated to helping people develop the skill sets they need to enter the video game industry. We're going to be doing that through extended game jam type sort of experiences with cohorts of people looking to switch careers. And at the end of that extended game jam, where they're getting paid for their efforts, and we do a revenue share of the game once it's released, they will have a portfolio project released in the wild that they will have learned from and that they can apply, use for applications or use as experience for their own indie studios that they build, solo or otherwise. So that's what we're all about here. We're starting that with me right now. Building this game about a dog trying to reclaim the soul of his lost owner. And by lost, I mean deceased. And it's going to be a roguelike race where you are trying to platform your way to the end of an obstacle course type sort of thing. And more frequent tribute. That's what it is. We'll have Hades-style progression. As you go throughout the level, you invest your level ups into different gods, which then give you boons from those gods, and also make their other friend gods very mad at you, because you're not choosing them. Obroni, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Okay. Tribute spawn rate not set? That's weird. Yeah, we're all about sharing with each other's successes and talking with each other about what we need help with and providing support and celebrating with each other. So we'd love to hear about anything any of you are working on. Fancy Terminator. When you mentioned that Risky Biscuit is making a horror learning game, it reminded me of Baldi's Basics, but it took me this long to find the name of the game because I had forgotten what it was called. Interesting. Thornity? That auto mod is very aggressive. Sorry about that. It took me this long to find the name of the game because I'd forgotten what it was called. What is Baldi's Basics? Baldi's Basics? Oh, that looks terrifying. Is it an actual education game? Or is it just a horror game kind of masquerading as? Oh, jeez. I don't like this website. I don't like that. No, thank you. Oh my gosh. It's a meta horror game? Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Where are we at here? Oh yeah, that this was not defined. And of course it wasn't defined because I wasn't using the correct object reference for it. So that should fix it. Let's check that out. They timed you out on Jackie Code's stream. Really weird with no real educational value to be found. Okay, right on. Really? Still not working? That's weird. Line 103? Why is that not working? Right here. Object spawner dot tribute spawn rate. Do we not have that built in the spawner? Should be. I'm a goblin from Thor's channel, trying to learn GML. Found you and felt good vibes. Right on. Well, welcome in. We're friends of Pirate Software in here. He laughed at something that I made once, and I'm gonna say it was in a good way. I don't know if you were on that stream or on his Twitter or not, but I had a thumbnail video with his face, and he tweeted about it and said it was a very weird and funny experience. So it was fun. Hunter Rules. A while ago, I was working on a mobile game and was making it so that you can play co-op on 2 devices using Bluetooth. Wow. Kind of like on the DS. Yeah, right on. So if you were offline and in a car trip, you could still play together. That sounds very cool. Very complex, but very cool. Never finished it, though? I think you should. Listen, if Tom Sutton can make a game for the Game Boy and have it be, like, rad, I think you should make a DS game and have it be rad. If you want. Just encouragement, if you want it, is there. That's a cool concept. Especially with Apple, like, bringing in their new interaction patterns with the iPhone, where you, like, slide them together. Right? Like, that seems like it's asking for some sort of gamification. Sounds about right, Obroni? Yeah. There's a streamer, says Tom Millman, 2 buddies who make a game for the Nest system. Wow. That's crazy. I had no idea this community existed. I had no idea. That's so wild. Okay, so in our spawner, do we really not have tribute spawn rate? It's right here. Oh! Global gets made before the spawner gets made. That's our problem. So this needs to be a global variable that gets declared somewhere else. So global dot tribute spawn rate, and then like in world create or something, we're gonna have to put this in. Set up variables for variables for tribute spawn rate. So we have tribute spawn rate is now global dot tribute spawn rate equals what did I set it to? I don't know. Oh shoot, this is problematic. We need to take it out of the spawner, because if we initialize it in here, then it's going to overwrite whatever we do in the boon. So we can just nuke that, actually, and then put that in our world create script. There we go. Nice. Okay. Deleted. Excellent. Oops. Wrong direction. Now, back in the player, instead of referencing the object spawner, we now reference the global value. And now everything will be able to live once more. It would be simpler than Wi-Fi connection, though, and most likely more secure since you won't have to worry about IPs or server costs. That makes sense, Hunter Rules. Yeah, 100%. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot more interesting leveraging of technology like that in the near future. With the way that AAA games are going right now, where they grew way too big to survive, I think we're going to start to see a lot more smaller studios crop up with very talented individuals who have really deep domain expertise in specific areas. And they're going to make some really wild and weird stuff that is low cost, but provide interesting and unique experiences, and I'm really excited about it. Okay, 5 to 10. Good. Good. That is working. Platform spawn rate up. And we're going to have to do the same thing here. We're going to have to change the variable to not be in the spawner, unfortunately. Platform spawn rate. Where do we have you? Bounce chance, min distance, spawn Y. Set up our rows. Do we not have that set anywhere? Did I just skip that? Oops. We're just changing min distance. Okay. So min distance needs to get pulled out into the global. All right, that's a bummer, but sure, it's fine. I wish people didn't abuse stuff so indie devs could use P2P networking, but I doubt that will ever happen again due to people misusing it and people pulling IPs. Yeah, I mean, it's a sad reality that the few ruin it for the fun, for the many. And the many have to be protected against the few. It's a bummer. It's a real bummer. Hunter, I agree with you. Super Robivers, I'm in a VC playing my game. I'm in a VC playing my game? Like virtual cabinet? What's a VC? There's min distance. Pull that out. Put it in the global script. There we go. Voice chat. Okay. Very cool. Are you like doing a playtest or something with people? Oh, in my Discord. Oh, very cool. I've been noticing people doing that. Like Down V has done that a couple of times. I got to hang out with him while I was in the hospital with this guy. It was a good time getting to just kind of hang out and co-work for a little bit. Yeah, feel free. Feel free to go hang out in the voice chats anytime that people would like. Get some virtual co-working in a little more intimate and personal way than a stream is, right? Because stream is, we're pretty small. We can chat with each other fairly reasonably, but it's still a layer removed, right? So definitely take advantage of that. I love that. Thank you for doing that and letting me know that that's happening. All right. Global.min distance. And now we need to change everywhere that says min distance to say global.min distance. So we're going to replace all, which is dangerous without even like looking at what any of it is, but we'll take a risk. We'll just run. We're doing fear factor programming here. Yeah, that definitely broke. Player, okay. It would have spawned so many cool indie games for studios without the budget for server stuff. Yeah, I agree, Hunter. I agree. Like I said, I do think we're going to start seeing some cool stuff. I think some cool stuff is going to be coming soon. Is there a link for the Discord that I'm missing? It's in the About section, in the panels underneath the channel. Or you can do a quick little, theoretically, streamer bot. Don't let me down, man. Come on. Don't embarrass me in front of my friends, streamer bot. Now it embarrassed me in front of my friends. Darn it. Why do you not trigger, dude? I don't know. Bummer. Crickets. Full crickets. Gotta troubleshoot that later. The P2P networking has more issues than security, though. Tell me about that, Mr. Business. I'm assuming from your profile that you are, let's see, is that Amanusis over there? I'm back, but headphones died, so can't listen. No worries, Jack. I know I'm saying that. Read my lips, Jack. Awkward silence. Yeah. Okay. This guy. This is our problem. Right there. So, global.min distance. Swap you out. We're making good progress here. We do have an ad coming up in a few minutes. Ad coming up in a couple of minutes. We'll pause for that. And then after that ad, we'll dive into our Shogun Showdown analysis for the last little bit of the stream. This has been a great stream. I've loved hanging out with all of you. Thank you all for being here. Having a great time. All right, we got 150 to 175. Boop. That's good. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Actually, no, it's not. We need to make that a negative because we need to shorten the minimum distance so that the spawn rate actually goes up. If we increase the distance required, then it's spawning less. Reverse it. Curious on what your workflow is like in GameMaker, like from idea to documentation, lookup to implementation. Having a hard time looking up things that I want to implement, says Obroni. Hey, Risky Biscuit, excuse you. Don't code shame. Don't code shame. This if statement works fine. It's functional. You know what's not functional? Everyone's things that doesn't exist yet because they haven't built it yet. Look at this if statement. Look at its glory. Look at how many branches this has. It's a full-on family tree. You know how many generations of code live and die on this thing every time the code runs? It's glorious. It's life. Don't shame it. Does GameMaker not have switch statements? No, it does. It has switch statements. I don't know why, but when I was coding this, I was recently home from the hospital, and I was super exhausted. And I thought, this shouldn't be a switch statement. 'Cause reasons. I don't know why. And it's going to get refactored into a switch statement eventually. Undertale's dialogue system is an enormous if statement. Yes, exactly. Obroni, if it works, it works. That's absolutely right. So, Obroni, in our last few minutes, let's go ahead and jump over to here. Let's talk about how we went from idea to finish. So, this is our digital whiteboard for this game. This has all of our design that we've done in it so far. Should I add physical or Maria next? I don't know what either of those are. You should ask someone more cultured than me. Chat, should Super Robiber add physical or Maria to their phone-based gyroscopic dance game? So started off basically just saying, after the Pirate Software Game Jam, realizing polish wins. And I knew that as a product designer for 10 years, but now I had seen it practically applied in a brand new space that I had never been in before, of video game development. So I thought, okay, I'm bad at polish. I'm much more high level. I'm much more strategic, design oriented. I'm about flows and all that sort of stuff. So I wanted a project to help me with polish. So that was how this got started, was I want to make a single game that was based around jumping. I just arbitrarily picked jumping as one mechanic the player gets to interact with. So the only thing the player can do is jump. That's it. Did we talk about the jam? Not yet. No, we haven't talked about the jam yet. So we started off by thinking, what sort of goal or emotion do I want to elicit? And I had no idea. And so I took out a bunch of random emotions from an emotion wheel. And then we brainstormed a bunch of different ideas around each of those different emotions. And this was all done on stream. You can go back and watch it. From here, I picked out the ideas that seemed the most interesting to me. You can see competing deities right here, right? This is what spawned out of jealousy. And then sorted those top ones, picked one that I thought would contribute to low scope, but also be interesting enough for me to follow through on. That left us with competing deities. Then we kind of brainstormed a bunch of different ideas of like, what do we mean by competing deities? What might interesting ideas around that concept be? And kind of once again, came up with the ones that we liked the most, prioritized it, and went forward with that. And that led to this idea of kind of choosing or training a champion to compete. And you can see it's changed a long way since then. We did a sketching exercise called Crazy Eights, where every minute you sketch out a different idea. So this was the first idea for 60 seconds. I drew this, and then after those 60 seconds, went to this next idea, and this next idea, and this next idea. And it probably makes no sense to anyone looking at it. However, it ended up here, which is kind of the concept for this entire game, which was getting your little candy tributes and putting them in different buckets of these gods to get different boons and banes. And that evolved into what we are looking at right there. So we went from there and architected it all out as much as we could from what we knew, trying to figure out how do we organize our data? How do we, what needs to be a struct, what needs to be global variables, and what are all the different buckets of data that we need to build? And then some more brainstorming of like, do we want this to be like Frogger, or do we want this to be kind of like Mario? And you obviously see where I ended up going on that. We went with this one because it allowed for the only one button interaction pattern. This would have to have some sort of left and right. Risky Biscuit, you're banned forever. Perma-banned, instantly. Moderators, can you please ban him? We don't have any moderators. From there, we went into the Octalysis framework, which is a gamification framework that I really like because it helps me to think about things in a more roundabout way. We have 25 seconds before the ads. I'm going to get to the rest of this. Analyze where it's strong, where it's weak, where do we want to build it out, and then designed out from there, and then started building things and kind of diagramming out flows of what is the flow of how do we want the player to interact with things, how do we want all this to progress, what are all the different boons that we want. And we started building. We've been building really fast, according to my speed. And this is all kind of visual styling of trying to get that first sprite of a dog done. That GameMaker 2D Fighters came on and did a guest workshop on pixel art for us, which was really fun. Just promote Risky Biscuit to moderator, that I can ban myself when I misbehave. So that's kind of been the whole design process, and the rest of it has just been kind of implementing it, testing it out, seeing what works. We've done some very low fidelity prototypes in Figma, weirdly enough, which I've done a couple of times on stream now, where it's really awkward and weird, but it's our kind of stream-friendly equivalent of paper prototyping. And that paper prototyping got us a lot of interesting stuff that we realized. Hold on, let me pull this up here. There we go, you can see it now. So yeah, that's the kind of idea. We start with really low fidelity, really quick and rapid prototypes, learn, change our design, build out. Ads. All right. What do we got? Oh, jeez. OBS every single time. My goodness. Okay. Oh, hi. Oh, hello. Are we hungies? Here you go. So it's like a huge game design document. In a way, yeah. In a way it is. It's kind of just a virtual brainstorm space. If I had other people on this project, I would do a much more thorough and official game design document. But because it's essentially just me and my wife, we can kind of collaborate really quickly and easily. We don't need quite so much structure. So that's kind of the form that it's taken. Yeah. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Does mutt count as a breed, Mothman Centaur? I think it does. The American brown dog, I've also heard it described as. Sure, mutt counts as a breed. And if not, I guess beagle. That is the right choice. Good job. 10 brownie points to Mothman Centaur. Tom Millman, I think husky, but they are a lot of maintenance. They are a lot of maintenance. Those are dogs. That's not going to be the lab that just kind of hangs around the house all day. A husky that's a lifestyle. Risky Biscuit, I was thinking for your Boon Bane mechanic. Maybe this is how you were going to do it. Oh, little guy. Oh. Do you want to go upside down? Should we do that? You want to be on the tum-tums? Yeah, you like the tum-tums. Maybe this is how you were going to do it, but when you get to the altar, each god has a min tribute to get a boon, but also a min tribute to not get a bane. Ooh, that's an interesting concept. I hadn't thought about that part. It's like you need to contribute 3 to not get a debuff, but 7 to get the buff. The catch is there's always multiple gods and you won't have enough for all of them. That's an interesting concept, Risky Biscuit. That's something I'll keep an eye on during prototyping because the way it is right now is, yeah, you do have that minimum amount. You have to invest. You have to do 5 in order to get that double jump, right? But it's not... The downside comes from the investment into the other gods. And if it's ending up too easy, that's a really good route to take that integrates really cleanly. I like that. Thank you. Hey, doggies. Why are we upset? Wait, Marvel, it's not dinner time yet, dude. You got another couple hours, friend. I also love any use of the words boon and bane, Shepherd's Hound. By the way, everyone, be sure to tune in on Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, where we're going to, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, maybe 4:30. Shepherd's Hound, we need to talk. I think I said it at the wrong time. We can do 4:30 if we need to. Talking about Shepherd's Hound's experience in helping indie game devs secure funding through government grants that they have years of experience in. Bark, bark, bark. Get those emotes in the chat. Hey. Is the end times coming? Yeah. Are the angelic hosts upon us? Is Temple OS finally fulfilling its divine duty? Okay, guys. All right. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about their experience in... Okay, all right. We'll let you out. Goodness gracious. For real. Get out of here. All right. We're going to be talking about their experience picking games for critiquing at different games festivals. A wealth of experience Shepherd's Hound presents. You're going to want to be here for it, for sure. Where's the chat here? Oh my goodness. You guys are chatty chats today. 4:30 Eastern. Okay, we'll do 4:30 Eastern then. 4:30 Eastern. That's when we'll jump in. So we'll have a great chat with Shepherd's Hound. Be there. It'll be great. Very cool. All right. So that's our game dev for today. We got the barrel hopefully built. We started debugging a bunch of things. I'm going to make a quick note. Well, I don't even need to make a note. We have this guy. This is our last thing. Platform spawn rate up. I'll go through and debug the rest of these tonight on my own time. And we'll be able to dive in tomorrow on a whole new part of the game. We'll probably be working on enemies and getting that refined and done by the end of the week. And that's our goal for this week, is getting the enemy. At least 2 enemies with different kind of behaviors built and done, which, kind of exist already. 1 enemy type does. You can see right there. That lovely sprite that my 3-year-old daughter made for me. She says it's a snail, and I couldn't agree more. Isn't that amazing? So that's it. All right, that's game dev for today. Let's go ahead and jump into our analysis. We're going to do Shogun Showdown again, because I think there's a lot more to talk about in that game. I don't know how long we're going to talk about Shogun Showdown, but I've been really enjoying it, and I hope you have as well. We're going to turn off our music here. We're going to jump into good old Shogun Showdown. Your 3-year-old is better at art than I am. Oh, my goodness. You know, that is a thing. Oh, jeez, OBS. My goodness. David Kelly. I think is his name, David Kelly. One of the initial founders of IDEO said that everyone starts off being able to draw until they're about 5. And then they notice that someone's better than them at art. And now all of a sudden they can't draw for the rest of their lives. They're not creative anymore. This is the limit of my artistic ability. It's only because you haven't been developing it, which is fine. You've been developing other skills, but you have it in you. I believe it. If you wanted to, you could do it. Okay, little guy. We good now? We get it worked out? Oh, yeah. That's my guy. All right. Shogun Showdown. So let's talk about menus. In our kind of game dev streamer guild that we have, Discord. By the way, if you stream game dev, feel free to reach out to me because we've got a ton of great people in a Discord, including Brisky Biscuit. We've got Foolbox. We've got Odd Oculus, Amanusis. Got all sorts of people. If you stream game dev, either on Twitch or YouTube, reach out. I'll get you an invite. We'd love to have you there. We're all sharing about what's working, what's not working for us. It's a great, great space. Love to have you there. You can edit things well enough, just not from scratch, and that's reasonable. It's very reasonable. That's a normal part of the growth process. But yeah, anyways, in that Discord guild, someone was asking about their main menu that they were building. Let me see if I can actually grab the streamer who did it. They were building you know the fairy tale of like the cobbler and the fairies? He's basically building that into a game that is based around construction workers. It's wild. It's really actually quite cute. He's building it in Unity, I believe. And it's a great time. Let me grab his... All right. Whatever. We'll do his YouTube. He doesn't seem to have his Twitch linked. I gotta get on him on that. Polygon Pilgrimage. That's what the name is. Polygon Pilgrimage. There we go. Shout out. It was Polygon. Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you, Risky. Shout out, Polygon Pilgrimage. Perfect. Glad that worked. Okay. Yeah, and so he was talking about main menus. So let's talk about this one. Let's talk about composition. If we reduce this down to bare boxes, let's see. Let me bring in the browser. Let's do, can we do the analysis scene? Is that still gonna work? Game research? Kind of works. Hold on. Where's the webcam and where's the game capture? Shogun Showdown. There we go. Good. That's up and running. Professional game dev here. And then where's my webcam? Oh, it's not in here because that was when I was doing other things. Not other things, rather, but using different camera sources. There we go. All right. So let's talk about the main menu composition here. He's also like the sweetest guy you could ever meet. For real, though. Polygon Pilgrimage is. You have to be such a sweet guy to be making a game about little fairy tale power tools that come to life and help a poor struggling home builder get his job done at night. You know, that just the concept is sweet. So let's look at this. We've got a basic kind of 16:9 resolution here. We've got our splash art that's completely filling the background space, right? Oops. And then we've got text. Sometimes recreating stuff in a low fidelity way can help understand what makes that tick, right? If you want to like make a good UI, practice making UIs you really like and that you think work really well. So we got about that, a little bit bigger. A little bit smaller. Somewhere in between here. Let's try for like 56. There we go. So about that ratio, right? So big emphasis on Shogun, very small Showdown, which is interesting. And then we've got our text down here, which is in a different font. So we'll just throw it over to this, even though it's not really representative of it. And then we'll shrink it down. Run. Options. And quit. And this is the entire menu. That's it. When you see it, it looks very impressive, though, because of two things. First off, the typography is fantastic. Really strong typography in this game. Very, very readable. And then you have the background image, which helps, right? It brings a lot of visual interest, and the composition of the artwork is important. You've got the eyes up here, which you go to first, because it's a very high contrast space. You see the title, which leads you to here, which is kind of bad because it's taking you away from the items, but the artwork is clever. You see the eyes, and then you follow these loops with your eyes, and they send you back down, right? If these loops and these loops weren't here, the composition wouldn't work as well, because your eyes would be taken up by these eyes and then get lost up here. So that's important to note. And then as well, we've got this going up and down, so kind of bobbing up and down like that. Just adding a little bit of visual interest, making it feel alive. It doesn't do anything. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they were just like, I don't know, how do we inject some more feel into this without getting our artist to come in and animate this? Because it doesn't fit with the rest of the style of the game. If we animate that, we don't want to animate these things, and maybe we don't have the budget to send it back to the artist to animate. How do we bring this more alive? I don't know, let's have it bob up and down. That may have been the whole conversation, and it works. It works very well. Great website for UI references, Game UI Database. I think I've been here before, yeah. Yeah, this is a great place. Yeah, very good. Thank you for sharing that, Tom. Appreciate that. Oh, we can get rid of that too. Great. When I made my inventory and store, I just had a screenshot of the layout of a couple different UIs in the background and copied their layouts. Absolutely. Copy. Copy like an artist. All artists copy. This is convenient. I happen to be working on UI and I'm having a hard time. Well, Fancy Terminator, feel free to talk to us about what's being difficult for you about the UI. Maybe we can talk about it and see if there's examples in here of stuff that may unlock something for you. Okay, Hadao, you had an interview. First off, welcome back. Second off, how did it go? Congratulations. We're talking UI design here and of this main menu. And then as well, which is important to not leave out, we have early, I'm going to do this in all caps, early access version 0.8.1.1. I was tempted to leave this out and then realized, no, that's dumb. You need to have it in because this is important to show how do you incorporate these watermarks without it being obtrusive. And it looks like it even goes all the way out to the N, which is pretty intense. That's pretty big. So there must be some spacing differences because this feels about the same height. It went really well, I think. It was a first rounder, so we'll see if I get to round 2. Well, best of luck, Kayla. We're sending all of the positive vibes we can. Let's get some hearts in the chat. My goodness. Best of luck. Hold on. I've got a lot of heart emotes. I need to jump in here. Nice. Cool. Well, congratulations. I hope it went just tremendously. Best of luck. All right. So this, I'm going to increase the weight to get it a little bit closer to the way it really is, right? And then we're going to adjust our kerning here. What am I doing? It's been a while since I've done typography design in Figma. It's probably, something over there. So this could very easily get very overwhelming, especially, I can't replicate it. My sizes are off, but you see how far in this extends, but you barely even notice it. And it's interesting because this side seems very different than this side. And I wonder if it's on a gradient. Like it fades out as you go away. I don't know. I don't know if it's a fade out or like the color changes or if the transparency shifts. I think the color changes. I think it just goes into a gray later on, which is weird. It's crazy. But it works. It doesn't distract. I mean, this is more distracting in the mock-up that we have. So they've got something good going on there. I heard good things about Figma. Figma's very good in a lot of ways. I've used Figma for, what, 4 or 5 years? It's great. It does a lot of things very, very well. Fancy Terminator, my colors don't seem to contrast very well. I'm working in pixel art and have a pretty low resolution. I was trying to make something like Diablo or PoE's health orbs and item bar. I got a good layout, but if I try to add style to it, it gets muddy and less readable. I get that. Pixel art is hard, low-key. Pixel art is hard. I think it's mostly hard because there are restrictions around it, right? There's only so much fidelity you can pour into it, which can be a strength. It can help really refine your line work, but it puts a lot of emphasis on the other areas of art, like composition, like color theory. Yeah, that's so my wife is an illustrator, and she has actually experienced similar stuff to what I'm hearing you describe, where her line work of her pieces are phenomenal, really world-class line work. But for a long time, especially earlier in her career, she really struggled with adding colors because it would overwrite that line work, it would distract from it, and it would start feeling muddy. And she's had to work very hard on overcoming that and learning when to have less punchy colors and how colors interact with each other and everything. That's something that we can keep an eye out here for, is contrast and colors. Like here in this little pop-out that happens, you can see the runtime, hero, and location are very low contrast with that background. So I'm not really sight impaired, even though I have glasses. I see just fine. But it wouldn't surprise me if that didn't pass some sort of accessibility muster. That's something to notice and think about. There's a great channel on YouTube called Nonsensical 2D that talks a lot about 2D art techniques for games. Well, there you go. Definitely go check them out. That sounds cool. So where we last left off, we've just barely beaten a boss. We're going to jump in to our next shop. We can make a choice. Once again, notice all the little subtle things here. This water that, oh yeah, Force's favorite was right. It does have 3 frames. It has 2 different waveforms, essentially, and then a flat state. We've got this guy moving up and down. All this stuff that's just subtle movement to make the world feel alive. I think there's, yeah, on the shoreline, there's stuff going in and out. Told you. You were right. You were dead right, Fortune's favorite. And then when you mouse over things, still, I don't know if you can quite hear that. Let me turn this up a little. You can hear that clicking. So there is a very subtle audio effect on mousing over. More meetings coming up. Be back in a bit. Best of luck, Risky Biscuit. Thanks for being here. Good luck in the meetings. Can I post a link in chat? It's for Can I Play This? Yeah, that's just fine. Shepherd's Hound. Absolutely. Go for it. Thank you. Fortune's favorite. You only need a few frames of movement for things to look good. Yeah. It's an accessibility website that is useful for this type of thing. Okay, very cool. Can I play that.com? Oh, wow. A games accessibility website. Of course this would exist. Very cool. So they got reviews, previews, tech reviews. Do they have like tools? Is there like something I can like plug in a screenshot and it can give me an analysis? There are Figma plugins. Accessibility plugin. Stark is a good one. There's a simpler one made by MDS. Here we go. Contrast scores. This is a good one for checking color contrast. If it passes, you know, WCAG accessibility standards. Able gamers are also good. Okay, very cool. They have resources. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, there you go. So And that's the other thing. When you make your game accessible, you generally make it better. It's very rare that you go into making something more accessible and come out the other end and think, oh man, I wish I didn't have to do that. Usually, though, I wish I didn't have to do that comes from the effort that goes into building it. But by the end, it's almost always better. Almost always. So we've got that little bob up and down animation. It's got a pause, right? So it's not constantly going up and down, which is interesting, different from other bobbing up and down animations in the game. And then we've got that little white cloud underneath it, just to say, hey, you've got this selected. And then we have the white outline becoming more opaque. I think it becomes fully opaque. And then the trail, you'll see, goes from a very, very faint transparency to a thicker transparency, a more opaque transparency, but it's not 100%. It's still got some transparency. You can see that especially under the trees there, right? So let's take a look at cooldown upgrades. Oh, cool. I'll take some free health. That's great. That's a nice little game design thing after you beat a boss, kind of get you back on your feet a little bit if you need it. That's very nice. I like that. We've got the birds animating. Pretty simple animations. We got this kitty. Little kitty. And that thing, all it does is blink. But at an irregular rate. Do you see that? Do you see that? It's not just a blink every 2 seconds. They made it feel a little more organic by bringing in asymmetry. And this is an important principle. Asymmetry equals character. If you want to find a way to make something feel more characterful, make it more asymmetrical. If you're too perfect, it doesn't look good. You don't believe that it's a real thing. Once again, that word verisimilitude that we talked about the other day, of the belief that you are in a world that is different from our own. It's very hard to have something that's perfectly symmetrical and be believable. Because nothing in life is perfectly symmetrical, except for my chiseled features, according to my wife. Fortune's favorite, yes, the glow of the trail definitely increases. So we've got our upgrades. Hey, kid, how's it going? Wow. So cool. Wow. Oh, that's a toy for me? Thank you. All right, everyone. We got a monster truck. And is that one for William? That's so nice. Whoa, Sundown! Thank you so much for the raid, my friend. How are you? You're just in time for my daughter to deliver me a monster truck. Thank you so much for coming in. How are you doing? How was the stream? How are the diners? Hey, Ellie. Hey, sweetie. Can you jump down real quick? Would you like to do some coding? Yes? Okay. Let's do some coding. All right. Sundown, how was the stream? How are things going? How's it going for the full release coming up soon? Hold on. Where are we at here? You came in right at the time when my life explodes. Right at the top of the hour here. It is just, everything goes nutso. So good to see you all. Hello. Hey, honey. Would you mind taking care of the dog? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Behind like usual and got a dip. Game looks dope. Your kid is so adorable. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. This is Shogun Showdown, by the way, over here. British Viking Kari, thank you so much for the follow. We're doing an analysis of this right now. This is a wonderful little indie game. Gosh, if I can figure out fingers. There we go. Over there. Shogun Showdown. We're doing recreations of it. And Manfred von Richthofen, thank you for your follow as well. I appreciate you. Too asymmetrical looks annoying, though. It's true. Everything needs to happen in a balance, Kehadao. And Dangerous Justice, thank you for the follow. And Sundown, okay. All right. Y'all need to calm it down now, okay? I'm looking straight at the camera. You need to calm it down. Too much happening. Too much support. I'm not going to make it. I'm just going to start crying. My wife is going to have to calm me down. She's going to have to back me off. My kids are going to freak out, wondering, why am I freaking out? You got to stop. You got to stop. Kai14We08, Kiwi1408. I don't know. How do I pronounce that? Dangerous Justice, thank you so much for the follow. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much. And my invisibility cloak is just ruined. You know, that's just family life. I have a 1 week old right here. So, you know, we're doing the whole family life game dev here. So thank you all for your patience and for being here. This is rad. I appreciate having you all here. Have a great stream. Thank you so much, Sundown. Have a great time with your wife. I hope you have a good, restful night. Family stream, that's right, Mothman. And Distant Answer, thank you so much. Dangerous Justice, you're right. It got achieved right as we started the stream. Someone gifted 5 gift subs, putting us right over the top, right at the beginning of the stream. So the generosity has been outrageous today. Thank you so much. Peace out, Game Looks Up. Thanks, Sundown. Appreciate it. Take care. So yeah, we're analyzing this game. Once again, there we go. Shogun Showdown. It's a really great indie game, very well made, and we're analyzing it. We're tearing it apart, frame by frame, piece by piece, to figure out what makes it tick. How can we learn from this? What are the good things we can do, and what are the things that we can leave behind that we can, use for our game? So this is our kind of wireframe of the main menu we were looking at. We had someone talking about their main menu and trying to look for thoughts and advice. So we broke it down exactly how they have built it so that we can see what they had done to make it work. We talked about the artwork, the composition of the artwork, how it guides your eye around. There was a subtle kind of bobbing up and down on the title scene. We talked about the early access and how they made that feel less intrusive. We're doing all sorts of stuff. It's a great time. Thanks for being here. We do normally game dev, but for the last hour or a bit of the stream, we do analysis videos like this because I love it. So welcome on in. Oh, man. By the way, we are, in case any of you are new around here, Distant Answer, thank you so much for the follow as well. We are a charitable enterprise dedicated to helping people gain the skill sets they need to enter the video game industry. So this whole critique thing, it's a big part of this. At the very start of the stream, you can see in the channel points down below, we have a lot of options for getting your game on the stream where we can talk about it and discuss it and its relative merits and what works and what doesn't work. We had someone come in and was very courageous and put their game up for critique. We had a great discussion around a really interesting idea. It was a good time. So if that sounds like a good place for you, welcome home. You're here. You made it. Congratulations. I'm very thrilled you're here. So we're in this store. We've been talking about the animations of the birds. I like this place already. I'm so glad, British Viking Kari. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. We've got this guy. Yes, sweetheart. Okay, bring it over here. I'll help you real quick, okay? I do critiquing. I do critiquing. I love critique. So I'm in my former life, I was a product designer for 10 years. So see that? You need to go this way first. That's your problem. You're going up. You need to go right. Try that. See where that gets you. And then the fairy can help too. Yeah, so I've been a product designer for 10 years, and I used to be in film. Before that, studying film. So critiquing, analysis are very ingrained in me. I love critiquing. I love analysis. There's so much value to be gained there. It is hard, though. You need to be courageous to put your thing up for critique. But that's why we work hard to create a safe space where we're discussing the piece, we're discussing the art, we're not discussing the individual or their capabilities. It's nothing representative of the person and everything to do about just what works in this piece and doesn't. GameMaker 2D Fighters on YouTube, you do not apologize for 1 second. You're super late, that's just fine. Are you still in the hospital? How are the kiddos? I'd say their names, because I've got them remembered, but I don't want to say them on stream. It's not my place to say that. But how's everyone doing? Is everyone okay and still all right? For those of you who are unaware, GameMaker 2D Fighters is over on YouTube, and he is making exactly what it says on the tin. He's making a fighting game in GameMaker that he's going to release alongside the 25th anniversary of GameMaker, but he's also making it into a template, so anyone can buy it off the asset store and build their own fighting game with it. The Mad Lad is also actively in the hospital right now because his wife just had twins. If you have a list or queue, I may pencil my name in sometime. Yes, absolutely, British Viking Kari. It's just in the channel points. So you just redeem the points, and we'll get it on stream as long as I can run it on my machine. So, yeah, Mad Lad for sure. I'm going to push ads out again for a little bit because we have a bunch of people in here who just barely rated in. I always feel bad when people rate into ads. So we'll snooze that for a little bit before doing our last ad break for the day. So, once again, we can see a lot about proximity here, right? this being the same typography and icon as the total amount. But because it's next to the object that you're buying and it's in the context of a store, we understand implicitly this is a cost. This is something that we will be incurring, not gaining. They don't have to do any special typography treatments. They don't have to have any extra special icons. They just trusted that they placed it well enough to do the job, and it did. They've done the job. They did good. Oh, there we go. All right. So yeah, check out this guy's animation. Once again, very simple. What? Kind of pauses up at the top there. And then maybe 4 frames of animation. I don't know. That's a recurring thing we're noticing here is about 4 frames of animation, plus or minus a little bit in this game on nearly everything. But you can see really good follow-through movement, really good animation principles on display there, even though it's very simple. And that's the thing. I think someone in here earlier was saying that they have been working on a game for a very long time, but they have stalled because they don't do well at art. Like, you don't have to be crazy at art. You don't. Go play Thomas Was Alone. Go play West of Loathing. You don't have to be crazy at art. You just need a cohesive vision, and you need a good sense of design. And so if you have those things, the fidelity of the artwork doesn't really matter. And if you don't have those things, there are people that do, that you can talk with, and people that would love to make games. Go find them. GameMaker 2D Fighter. It's okay, you can share. I'm still in the hospital. Everyone is fine. The babies are amazing and already get their heads up, eyes open. Nice. My little girl is talking up a storm, and I'm still coding with them. Oh, that's lovely. That's wonderful. Yeah, dude has a laptop with an extended keyboard, so he's holding his kid and typing on the hospital couch. Art doesn't have to be visual. It's a very good point. Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of really great audible experiences, right? So if you're not good at art, don't let that stop you from making games. Just recognize that this is a struggle and then compensate for it. That's all you got to do. Zork, right? One of the greatest games of all time. No art, all text. I bet the missus loves that. Legend. Yeah, he is a legend. He's a wild guy doing awesome stuff. He's on YouTube. Definitely go check him out. Pumping out content like constantly and way better at game development than I am. So yeah, like I feel like I'm very good at design, but not very good at art, and I'm not all that great at programming. So I'm not going to be building crazy like machine learning, wild programming stuff. I'm going to be like designing board games and then building that into the space of a digital game. And that's how I'm going to compensate for the things that I'm not as good at. Your only move is hustle. That's a game with not at all good art, but the game is amazing with some of the best fights you'll ever see, says 2D Fighters. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I don't know that I want to buy anything here. Extra health is nice. When an enemy hits you, deal back the same amount of damage. I'm really bad at the game, so that actually sounds really good. I take a lot of damage, so let's go for that. Once again, analyzing the map, really good transition, nice and snappy coming in. They don't waste time on it. A lot of the times on our animations, people get frustrated with them. They get frustrated with them because they take too long. Make it snappy, make it quick, and it won't interrupt people. So we jump in, once again, we get these transparencies. If this were me building it, I'd be a little frustrated at this overlap of transparency here. You can see where these two different white transparent shapes overlap on each other. And it creates a little semicircle there where it's egg shape. Where it's not quite right. But, you know, people are going to be seeing that for a half a second. The average person is probably never even going to notice it. So it's fine. Spend your time on the things that matter, especially when you're indie solo dev. All right. Once again, good screen shake. Doesn't overstay its welcome. And it happens in a time when you don't need to know the information, right? That's the key to that one working. Almost everyone tends to turn off screen shake because it detracts from the gameplay. It reduces the empowerment of the player. But this one, the screen shake happens when there's not relevant information on the screen. It's a moment for spectacle, and so you're okay with it. All right, so once again, we've got our level. For those of you who are new here that don't know Shogun Showdown, you have this basic board of 7 different spots. You can move left and right, you can change which direction you're facing, and you can load up attacks. Every action that you take gives the enemy a turn to take an action. That's the whole game. All right. We have an ad break coming up in 3 minutes. That's going to be our last ad break for the day. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. It's been a wonderful time today. I have just had the best of times being with you all and learning and growing with all of you. So thank you for being here. we're going to try and make it through this. So I'm going to play this back dash, which will send me backwards, deal a damage to this guy, and then I'll do a poison arrow into this guy. And then I'm going to do a sword slash, which will hit in front and behind me. And then I'll hit space, and I'll execute all of these in one turn. Boom, arrow, slash. We got a combo there. Very, very satisfying puzzle. Once again, we see the return of screen shake. But it happens when I don't have to care, right? I don't have to interpret anything on the screen at that point. It's all spectacle at that point. So I think they really define when is the game being played and when is the game in spectacle mode, right? When is it active player input and when is it time to show off? And they determined that and they set it appropriately and they did a very good job. Such a cool mechanism, I agree. We were talking the other day about how this is kind of just a board game, you know? There's not a whole lot about this that needs to be a video game. All right, now, unfortunately, I did blast this guy into him, which makes it so that the arrow can hit me. I have made a mistake. I'm going to suffer the consequences. That's where the puzzle of this game comes in, is you really tend to back yourself into a corner. It's very rare that you're in a situation where you just could not have done anything better. It's almost always because you didn't read the logic right. Very, very good player empowerment. And with these different waves, we get good, juicy randomness waves. So every wave, random people come in at random places, which change the puzzle up. It's really, really strong in randomness. I spent a bunch of time looking, but not having strong art skills, check out the game The Veil Shadow of the Crown. It has no visuals. Ooh, The Veil Shadow of the Crown. Okay. Interesting. Okay, I'll definitely have to check that out. Thank you, Shepherd Sound. All right, we have ads starting up in a little bit, but we'll pause the stream. We'll do a pause. Don't worry about it. Not to mention Text Adventures and Twine games. Yeah, and look at like Choose Your Own Adventure games. Those have had a really big rise in popularity recently. So we can move past this guy and swap places. And then we have our sword, which we can hit both people. I'm going to do my backslash. Oops. He's going to hit me. And then arrow. So he's going to stab me, kill his friend. I do that, dash, boom. Yeah, Choose Your Own Adventure games have had a massive comeback recently. Barking again. And even to the point of like build your, like Railroad Tycoon games have been made into Choose Your Own Adventure games. Go look at those. They do cool stuff. Artwork does not have to be a limiting factor for game. All right, so I'm going to do a backdash, move out of the way, and slash. There we go. Now he's going to try and slash me, but I can move out of the way. Arrow. There we go. He's going to start aggroing. Wave is coming in. I'm going to start queuing up attacks so that I'm just geared up. Okay. There we go. Slash, knock back, and then dash back. Get out of safety. Okay, good. Good. We're going to go into ads now. Hang around. We'll be right back for our last break, our last analysis of why this game is great. All right. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Oops. There we go. There we are. And my webcam is completely gone. Where's the webcam? Excuse you. It is just completely, wow. Reset. That's weird. How bizarre. Huh. That's a new one for me from OBS. Let's add this back in. Hold on. And we'll shrink. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Professional game dev streamer is the motto of this stream so often. Wow, yeah, that is just not working. How bizarre. Huh. All right, we'll do no camera for the rest of the stream. That's weird. I'll have to figure that out off stream. Fortune's favorite. I wonder if it's possible to put a text adventure onto a Kindle or other e-reader. I think it could. The tricky bit would be that you need really precise page turning. So as long as you can have that, then I think a digital format may honestly lend itself even better because you're not getting the spoilers of seeing other entries when you're trying to flip to the right page. Risky Biscuit, you're back. Seems like some exciting things happen. Exciting things always happen around here, Risky. You know the drill. Oh yeah, Sundown jumped in. Sundown sent over a raid with a lot of fine folks who were joining us for this last little block of a review, or an analysis rather, of Shogun Showdown. Okay, there we go. Now I got the camera working. You tried deactivating your cam and reactivating it? I did. I actually had to, and I tried re-adding it to the scene, and it took, going in and changing the source in order for OBS to, figure out what happened. Fortune's favorite. For choice X, flip to page 8. For choice Y, flip to page 16. It would be interesting to bring those back. So they're very back, by the way. If you're not aware of this, Choose Your Own Adventure books are very back. They have a very strong scene. And they're getting more and more gamified as time goes on. Basically, the digital graphic novel genre. There are a lot of graphic novel Choose Your Own Adventure games right now, for sure. In fact, it's become a really weird space because there's even digital video games that are Choose Your Own Adventure book games, but digitalized. So the obvious one is the Lone Wolf series has been adopted into a video game series, which is basically just the books that they digitalized. But then there's other stuff like Road Warden. Road Warden is a Choose Your Own Adventure book, but turned into a video game. But rather not turned into a video game, but conceptualized as a video game. It's very cool. All right, there we go. It was I've been manually resizing this for 10 minutes, and it's I finally just figured out the hotkey to get it back on. You heard of Dream Daddy? I haven't heard of Dream Daddy. Don't ask me why I know that one. I was thinking for the Shepherd, they can make a story that's gamified. It doesn't need to have graphics. Yes, absolutely. 100%. 100%. Okay. So I have nothing I can do here. So I'm just going to wait and let my stuff come off cooldown. And then I'm going to sneak past. Oh, that's right. He was hitting in the front and the back. So I'm in trouble now. I'm probably going to lose here soon. I've been trying to get too sneaky with the dashes. But while we're here, let's take a look at the background, right? Let's get these animations. We got the fireflies. Ooh, and here we go. The stars are starting to shine. We noticed that earlier, which was, I guess, earlier in the daytime of the game, in the day-night cycle. And they weren't shining. And I said, that's weird. I bet the stars could shine, and that would be a nice little background element. And here they are, just a little bit later at night. And the stars shine in and out very subtly. We've got a meteor that comes by every now and again. Very nice. We even have this eclipse here. Very subtle shifting. Very subtle. Very subtle. But it's enough that you start to feel like it's alive. Same thing with these lights over here. Let me get my big head out of the way. And you see this is kind of going in and out very subtly. Lots of layered and subtle animations leading to a strong sense of verisimilitude. So my question right now is, how do I kill this guy and then not get tagged by the archer and die? So let's knockback punch. And then, gosh, how do I do this? Because I need to kill both of them at the same time, basically. So let's get the sword, dash through, and then front and back. There we go. Got him. Joe Devers' Lone Wolf books were revolutionary, says Ben Will. Yeah. Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone also made a fantastic series called Fighting Fantasy. Yes. Which were all standalone. Lone Wolf introduced having a character you took from book to book. Yes. Yes, Lone Wolf, yeah, both of those are classics. Absolute classics. If you want to make a game without being good at art, go explore those. Go explore those. Go check out Zork. Go check out all those old games when they had to make games without, like, having really graphical interfaces of any sort. Slash, then shoot. Oh, dang, nice. Thank you. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Very satisfying when you pull something off like this. Lowered cooldown. I think I want the arrow on a lower cooldown. Because that was that was like 7 cooldown or something. That's another thing. When there's like 5 cooldown, I do wish that there was some sort of indicator to say this is a group of 5. They've got that on the health, right? They've got a row of 5. You can't do that down here because then, like, you get 2 rows, and, like, then do you squish the artwork? Do you make the tile taller? There's not really a great option there. But I wish they would do something to indicate groups of 5 so you can really quickly plan that out. I'm going to turn around and scoot past this guy. So he gets bopped by his friend. I'm going to turn around again, slash arrow, and then I'm going to use our potion to get cooldown off. Oh, actually, he's poisoned. Is he going to die from the poison? Yes, good. Ooh, and a health potion. Perfect. Now we have this spear guy here. That's bad. So we're going to just launch an arrow at him, let him die real quick. Because I was backed into a corner. I couldn't get away from that guy. We needed him gone. Okay, we can dance out of this guy's way. Ooh, and another health potion dropped. Good. Okay, we're starting to feel a little bit safer. So I'm going to slash, knockback punch. And then start loading some stuff up. Oh, dear. This is bad. This is bad. Let's arrow. We gotta use the other potion. Arrow, knockback. Oh, shoot. So he'll kill me when he hits me, and I can't avoid that at this point. I backed myself into that corner. But I can get ready to knock this guy out. There we go. Use that other health potion. Backslide. Sure. That was probably a dumb idea. Turn around. Knockback punch. Arrow. No, I think this guy's going to be aggressive enough that we can get a double kill here. Slash, arrow, done. Nice. Now we can knockback punch this guy into here. Let's do that. We have our this is a problem. Okay. So he's going to die when he hits me. He's going to deal damage, but he's going to die when he does it at least. Once again, I really love this state here. Let's take a look at this. And these. I'm just noticing how good these are. So we have the tiles over your head, right? And the fact that they're all there and they're the same size, nice and chunky, that's all good. Very legible, good typography, good icons. It all works. I want to talk about the motion design. Because this bobs up and down very slightly. Once again, another layer of making it feel real and lived in. But then when the enemy is about to attack, it cycles out of that red and yellow. Once again, the yellow is good. They needed to do a danger color, and they were already using red, so they went to yellow. That's a perfectly fine thing. And when it flashes, it looks good, right? It looks like it's good high contrast. They picked a high contrast yellow to that darker red. Much higher value of yellow than it is the red, so it's very eye-catching. And then it shakes. So it's not just up and down. We get a little bit of shake movement now. Calling the attention, indicating danger, indicating it's imminent. Very good design. So let's do this. There we go. Upgrade. Do I want to upgrade the arrow again? -1 cooldown. Let's do the knockback punch. Let's try and get some more, like, board manipulation. Moonlit Port 3. So I'm going to turn around, dash back, arrow. So big guy is going to die from poison. Little guy is going to swing at me. I can move forward and get out of the way. Double swing. Ooh. Get out of your way. Can I get next to the spear guy? Not really. All right, let's deslot the sword. So from a gameplay perspective, this is an important analysis point as well. We're able to drag stuff out of this for free. We have to commit a turn to put it in, but we can pull it out for free. That design principle is called forgiveness. That is the principle of when a player makes a mistake, there is some degree of tolerance to get them out of that mistake. So they probably experienced that it felt really bad when you committed things inappropriately. That probably slowed the game down because you were trying to think through every permutation, because if you had to change things, it was very costly. So in order to speed the game up, they incorporated forgiveness into that turn order. They could have done that any number of ways, but this is the way they took, and I think it works. I'm going to dash back, arrow. Now we'll get rid of him. Swords, up. Dash, swing. Get out of the way. Good do arrow, dash back. You're dead. Get out of the way. You can do this and this. I'm going to try and get it so that I can... Yeah, this will work. This will work. There we go. Good. Combo. That always feels good. All right. So we're going to move through this guy. And kill myself. I think we're going to use this poison. Oh, it didn't help. So poison takes place after they take an action. That's good to know. And this is something that I think this game could actually improve on. Is, more clearly communicating to the player what's going to happen. So like here, I would love to see like this green help square flashing or something to say they're going to lose this at the end of their turn. That would just be helpful for me to know. Like, and earlier when I poisoned them, I thought, how much poison is this? Does poison stack, or is it just in a binary on-off state? That would help kind of communicate that a little. Okay. Let's load up some stuff. I don't think we really even want to do that. Let's just do a simple backdash. That's a good point. Thank you, Muffman. Back to the Shogun thing. Yes, Jack, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be asleep? It's like nighttime for you, right? Can I swing this? I can. Okay, so I'm going to move forward, and that's going to get the arrow to shoot his friend. And then I reorder this, so I swing the sword and then arrow, and now they're both dead. I should be asleep. I got lectures tomorrow. Go to bed, Jack! Goodness. I'm sure it's not by choice, but I was reading a book and now I'm here. Oh, goodness. You know, we were talking about your game, by the way, earlier, on how you put it up for critique and how grateful I was for it and how awesome it was and how people were very impressed that you got that critique. So thank you for doing that. We're going to... Oh, shoot. Yeah, darn. Okay, arrow. And then swords, and there we go. No lie, this gameplay looks extremely dope, busting out combos to this 2D fighter. It's really good. It's really good 2D fighter, and it's not expensive. This is how indie games are going to have a big takeover of the market. Because AAA devs have had to market to the lowest common denominator for ages because their costs have risen to an exponentially unsustainable amount. They can't do it anymore. They're laying people off by the droves. This is the time for indie devs with cool ideas to come in and take the market. If I send a game for critique later on, does it need to be a WebGL game? The only criteria is that it is something that I can play. So I don't have a controller hooked up to my computer right now. And Jack, thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, it just has to be something that I can play. So a web-based game is an easy way to do that, but if it's on Steam, that's just fine. If it's a downloadable executable, until I get a reason not to trust people, I will trust them and say I will download it and put it on, which is a bad idea. I can feel all the InfoSec people shaking their heads. That's a part of why it costs channel points in order to submit it. So if someone really wanted to like scam me, they'd have to invest a decent amount of time in order to get to that point. Put a link in chat or Discord. I'll get when I get home. I have a soft spot for games like this. Yeah, man, I'll shoot it over to you. Do you know how to set up a virtual machine? I'm not gonna lie, I don't. I should. But it's kind of one of those things I've thought about every now and again and said, I should probably learn how to do that, and then I just don't. Here, I'll throw it in our general chat, in our Discord. There you go. All right. Can I redeem, analyze any game and get you to play like Dark Souls for an hour? Absolutely. Yeah, that's why it's there. If you have something that you think is interesting or that you would like to get more eyes on so you can get a more well-rounded perspective on it, that's exactly why that option is there. You get to analyze anything that you want. As long as it's like safe for work, right? We're not going to throw any adult content on here or anything. Because my engine doesn't have an easy way to do WebGL build. That's just fine. Yeah. I mean, I trust you, Kato. You've been in here before. You're doing your own channel. I trust you. You're fine. Send me the files whenever you're ready. That's a danger question, yeah. Okay, what do we want to reduce cooldown? Let's get backward charge. Just, I don't know. Do we want to? I feel like we need more damage. I feel like that's our problem. We've got a lot of mobility, but very little damage. Yeah, let's do that. Versus the twins. All right, we're going to do this boss fight, and then we're going to call it for the day. We'll go ahead and do a raid out to some other fine streamers. And we'll do that, call that a day. This has been a wonderful stream. Got a lot of progress in. Had a great chat with everyone. Sundown, everyone who came along from that raid. Thank you for being here. Those of you that are still here and those that have left, I appreciate you as well. Video games, let's go. Tom Sutton. Yeah, I don't know if you heard my comment about my wife's 1 week postpartum rib wrap that she has to help everything heal up. And I thought, I bet Tom could use that. I bet those flared ribs could use some extra support. So we have this mass curse, which doubles the damage on the next hit. And I think I'm going to do that. For that poison arrow. We're really low on health, so we kind of need to pull out the stops here. I want to bait out this attack from him so I can get away. There we go. Turn around. Knock back. Get you to hit your friend. What does this club do? Strike the cell directly ahead. Okay. So we're going to back up. And then swing and shoot you into your buddy. Then we can do... Oh, what is that? What does that do? Shadow dash. Dash forward through targets, stopping at first empty cell behind them. No effect if no empty cell. Well, I think we need to move a step back then. All right. Waste your turn, essentially. Load up another knockback punch. And this is another dash, I believe, right? Yeah, dash forward. I'm just going to wait. I want this dude to dash in, and then I'm going to blast him and shoot him off into his friend. And I think that's going to mostly square this fight away. If you're looking for another video game that plays like a board game, you should check out Ozymandias. I will check out Ozymandias. I haven't heard of that. But I love the poem. Ozymandias. And the character in The Watchmen. Both of those are great. Hold on. Ozymandias. Oh, it's got a season pass? Boy, I don't even know how to navigate their Steam stuff. They've got, like, everything looks like it's a DLC. Where's the base game? Bronze Age Empire Sim? Is that it? Wow. Are you the one that was talking about watching people play Europa Universalis 4? Risky Biscuit, the educational horror and large-scale 4X games guy. All right. It's okay. It's a Civ game. You can play in an hour. Oh, that's very nice. Very nice. I need to check out Stellaris Nexus as well, because they did the same thing where they took Stellaris and they made it playable in like 40 minutes. That was you. Nice. Okay. Oh, what is this? What is this? Swap the content of the cells directly ahead and behind. Okay, so I can turn around. He'll dash, do that. I can swap back around and then do it. Okay, good. Plan still works. Everything's fine. Ooh, that hurt though. Let's get... Oh, shoot. Yeah, we need to put him in front. Is 2 damage going to kill him? This is an area where I feel like we need more information. 2 damage might kill this guy. And I kind of need to know, or we lose, you know? I guess I don't have any other option. I can't add an ability or he'll kill me. So let's just hope. Not enough. Darn. There we go. Kill a boss and die in the same turn. Honorable death. I think I have like 2,000 hours in Europa Universalis 4. 2.2 thousand. Wow. Knockback first. So the problem was the knockback wasn't loaded up. So if I put that into my attack slate, he would have hit me anyways. And that would have been it. So there you go. That's Shogun Showdown. It's great. So much to pick apart and analyze in this thing. You can see now we've got like these unlocks over here. We get points every time we kill a boss. We can spend on kind of getting new options for things. Was before the kiddo, now I don't have time. Yeah. I'm actively giving a child their bottle right now. I understand you very deeply. Right on. Okay. This looks like legendary. I don't know. I see yellow text. I think legendary. I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to assume it's better. Even though a smoke bomb doesn't sound all that interesting to me. So that's it. That's Shogun Showdown. Well, we're going to go ahead and do a raid now. Who's on that we can do a fun raid to? That would really appreciate having 19 people jump into their channel. There's got to be some good people that we can just make their day. Lots of people hanging out. You know, I've never raided into Vimlark, and even though he's much bigger than I am, I've never raided into Vimlark. Let's do that, because he also participated in the Pirate Software Game Jam, and I think, you know, we didn't get to talk about that today. Maybe there will be a conversation happening over there, because he had one of the most popular submissions for the Pirate Software Game Jam. And I think he'd have some interesting insights. I think he's participated in multiples of them, and has done good work. So let's go check out Vimlark. Came back for the ending. Yeah, Tom, good to have you in here again. And GameMaker 2D Fighters, this looks amazing and something that looks fun to pick apart. I'm definitely getting you when I get home. Awesome, very cool. Well, best of luck, man, and best of luck with the rest of your time in the hospital. Jack, get to sleep, friend. I hope you get some rest. And with that, we'll be heading out for the day. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all the support. My little one appreciates it. He has formula in his bottle because of your generosity. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you. We'll see you